Hey, what's going on? YST here. Welcome back to another Raid Shadow Legends video. On this one, we're going to be getting into 12-7 Nightmare campaign. I see a lot of people that have a pain with this, and it's using the Paragon champion, is like a cheese master. So we're going to dive into him and see exactly what speeds and what requirements we need to make this happen. So stay tuned and we're going to cover everything. So the main event of this is Paragon. So if you haven't pulled him yet, I wish you luck in trying to pull him if you're having trouble with this. But I have had crazy amount of times and a lot of resources wasted just because I didn't have him. When I got him, I had it done no problem. So let's start off with the gear and see exactly what we need to make this work. You don't need anything great. As you can see, he's just a 4-star. He can be a 3-star as well. You do the exact same thing. But I'm rocking a resistance and speed. And speed here again, just trying to get some speed up on him. Defense percent, this doesn't matter. A bit of resistance is great. I'll get into that in a second also. But speed here, speed and resistance, and speed boots with a bit of resistance here as well. And the reason for this, so we've got a 198 speed. I do recommend around the 200 range so you're not messing about when you're going in there and wasting your resources. And resistance, I've just got a little bit high just because on the final wave, Crew tracks her. Actually, I've got a Crew tracks her so I can show you. So she removes 2 random buffs. So you want to have a bit of resistance. So on the final wave, you haven't gone through all of that time trying to finish it off just for Crew tracks her to rip him off and you have to go again. So if you can get a bit of resistance, great. If not, have a couple runs, see how you go, and hopefully she doesn't strip that buff. But let's get back into Paragon again. So what's making this work is he places it unkillable for 2 turns. And it's on a 2-turn cooldown. So if you can have him fast enough, which is around a 200 speed, he's going to constantly be able to put this up and keep him alive. And because he's such a low level, all the enemies are going to be attacking him and targeting him, not your other champion that you're going to be using. And in this video, who I'm going to use is not anyone crazy. I'm going to cover Tyrell. And Tyrell is a brilliant champion. He's got the AoE decreased defense to speed up the waves. And if you're not aware, you have a 10-minute time range to finish this off. So you want to choose someone that can chew through the waves and not take too long. Still of the Drakes is great, who's a free legendary champion. Miscreated Monster has a lot of utility there also. There's quite a few, but make sure you're using a lifesteal set so this champion doesn't die, because a few champions do use the AoEs. So this champion can be compromised if you don't have a healing ability. So Miscreated is also a great one if you don't have lifesteal, because he heals himself and keeps himself going. But with his stats, I'm just put anything on here. He wasn't in lifesteal before, but we got speed here, speed and defense to keep him alive, speed boots, defense percent with some crit rate, and we've got defense percent with some speed rolls, accuracy to land those debuffs, crit damage, I haven't even maxed this out, and defense on the ring. His total stats is 34,000 HP, 4,300 defense, 207 speed, 51% crit rate to keep the damage a bit better, 115% crit damage, definitely not the best I've ever seen, and accuracy just the right amount to debuff the enemies. We're not going to go over the skills because it's not a guide on Tyrell today. But yeah, this champion, remember, use your best one. Use one that has an AoE preferably, if not a heavy DPS to get through the waves. And make sure you've got lifesteal if they don't have healing on themselves. So let's get into a run and we're going to cover how this works. Okay, so we're in 12-7 Nightmare campaign. Let's see exactly how this needs to be done. Alright, so first off, this is a manual thing, so you're going to have to be a little bit patient with this. Alright, so we want to put on this ability, so they're unkillable for 2 turns, and you want to always put it on your Paragon. You don't want to put it anywhere else. And then you just go through and you use your other champion to clear the waves. So you just got to pay a lot of attention here. Don't make sure that you're not A1ing when the ability is up. And as you can see, the AoEs are going through. This is where you need the lifesteal set to keep yourself alive. So yeah, you're just going to keep, these ain't going to give you that much of a problem. If you can do this, you're going to have most problem at the end. So let's skip through to the end where the boss is, and then we're going to see exactly how this needs to be done. Alright, so we've got to the boss, and Crew Traxxer is the one you want to aim at first because she's the one that causes most of a threat. As I've showed you before, she could strip the buff of Paragon. So hopefully we can get a stun off here. Alright, so we got the stun, which is brilliant. But if you can't do that, I could have showed you the resistance where you need a little bit just so you don't have to risk wasting energy, but it's not a big deal, you can try again. So yeah, we're just going to keep this unkillable on and make sure you're not missing any turns. So just remember that you need to have it within a 10-minute period, so keep an eye on your clock and make sure you're trying your best to do it as quickly as possible, but don't ever take your eye off the ball because there's been lots of times where I forget to put it unkillable on and I keep spamming the A1s and it just leads to a mess. And these nightmare campaigns are just a pain with the energy because it's, was it 18 energy to go through one run, so if you do it a few times you could potentially be wasting a full refill just by trying this. So yeah, from here there's no threat, nothing's going to cause us any problems from here. Nope, Peril, not today. Not today, Peril. I wish Mortal Macabre was this good with the actual champion that's actually we can play with. He never procs Peril that much for me. Put the last one on just for good pleasure and there we go. 12-7 Nightmare campaign finished. So, as you can see, all you need is around a 200 speed on Paragon, a champion here that can sustain and chew through the waves, and you will be fine with completing this stage. And you can get that juicy reward that was at the bottom here of a Sacred Shard, and hopefully you don't pull a Taurus. But yeah, that's going to be all for the video, and if you enjoyed it, be sure to hit that subscribe and like button, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.